Hello everyone, good evening. Warm welcome to Regulatory Bodies YouTube channel by Testbook. So today we are going to discuss a very important part. We will be discussing the current affairs and this session is going to be specifically related to finance. As we all know, when we prepare for regulatory body exams or for that matter any bank related exams or financial examination, undoubtedly finance section is going to play a really very important role, and keeping that in mind, this session has been designed for you all. In this session, what we will be doing, sir, in this session we will be discussing the important current affairs of finance from the past 1 week. So all those finance based current affairs which were in news in the last 1 week will be discussed in this particular session. So I would request everyone quickly copy the link of this session, share it with your friends so that more and more students, they can join us live in this session and they can have the benefit of this particular session which will help them in upcoming all the different exams. So this is not only for RBI, it is also for bank related exams. If you're preparing for bank related exams, then also this session is a must watch session for everyone. So I request everyone do join this particular channel every day at 6 p.m. because at 6 p.m. we have different sessions on different days. For example, we have weekly PIB analysis on Monday. Then we have weekly finance current affairs, which is today. We will be discussing all of them on Tuesday. Tomorrow we will be discussing the RBI updates, which include RBI notifications, circulars, press release. Then we'll discuss the government schemes, ESI current affairs and important reports on Saturday. So this is going to be the entire schedule for finance current affairs if you are preparing for RBI or any other regulatory body exam. So let's get started, guys. If you want to download the PDF of this session, that is available on this Telegram channel. You can download the PDF after the session itself. Let's move on with the first news of the day. The first news we have is related to EPFO. I hope you must be aware what is EPFO. It stands for Employees Provident Fund Organization. So EPFO has witnessed 18.53 lakh new members in August 2024. What it basically means. See, Employee Provident Fund Organization. So whenever you start working with an employee, the employee provides you with a provident account and you enjoy the benefits of the provident account where certain percentage of your income will be invested out of your income itself, out of your salary itself, and rest part will be contributed by the employer, and that amount is credited or that amount is saved in this particular account where you will be earning the interest, and you can utilize this amount as per your requirement. Even you can utilize it as an asset to borrow the loan in the near future. So if EPFO has witnessed 18.53 lakh new registrations, what first strikes your mind? The first strikes your mind is in August itself 18.53 lakh new employment opportunities have been given. It is partially correct, partially wrong. Why partially correct? Obviously, if you are registering and you are opening up a new EPFO or a new provident fund account, that means yes, you have got a job and now you are going to enjoy the benefits of the provident fund. But that is not the only case. Why I'm saying this is not the only case, the reason behind is, let's suppose earlier I was working in an unorganized sector. Now in August I joined an organized sector. So I was earning earlier, I was an employee earlier, now also I am an employee, but now I have an account or I have opened up the provident fund account. Even many of the employers over the period of time, due to the government norms, they have started offering the provident fund accounts, and due to this reason there has been a spike, there has been an increase of 18.53 lakh new users in the month of August. In today's session, we will even discuss the diversity. We will even discuss the diversity we have. Diversity in the sense male as well as female account holders with the PFO wala part, that will also be discussed. So let's get started. Employee Provident Fund Organization has witnessed an important growth in its subscribers base. In August 2024 alone, net addition. What is net addition? So that means new minus the one who have, I would say, withdrawn their account or who have closed their account. So new accounts minus closed account is equals to net addition of 18.53 lakh members. This reflects a 9.07% increase compared to August 2023, improved employment opportunities and increased awareness of employee benefits. So these are the two reasons. First reason is obviously employment has improved over the period of time in the country. That is one reason. Second reason is over the period of time now public is aware of the benefits of holding a provident fund account, and that is the reason many of the individuals or many of the employees who were earlier not offering the provident fund account to their employers, now they have been offering the many of the employers are now offering the accounts to their employees, and even the employees, when they are aware of the benefit of this account, they are also trying their level best to open up the accounts in the same. Moving on to the next point, subscriber growth overview. If I say, then EPFO payroll data indicates a positive trend in the new membership. In August 2024, 9.30 lakh new members joined, making 0.48% increase from the previous year. So what does it mean? So if I talk about the overall increase, that is 18.53 lakh. But if I talk about new members which have joined, that is 9.30 lakh. Remember this. So ministry has brought into light that this increase has been witnessed over the period of time. Now the question is very important. Sir, a notable aspect of new membership is age distribution. Workers aged 18 to 25 years account for 59.26% of the new members. So this is a very important part which you need to remember, that as per the data which has been recently presented, according to this data, it has been clearly mentioned that 59.26%, that means almost 60% of the new members, they are in an age group of 18 to 25 years. So this trend suggests that majority of individuals, they are now entering the organized workforce at their young age, particularly the first time job seekers. The net addition of the members in this age group of August 2024 was 8.06 lakh. So 8.06 lakh is the total addition, and overall out of the total value, 60%, almost 60% were the young workers who have been added. So these are the some of the data which you need to remember. One more thing which I would like to discuss with you, in addition to new membership, approximately 13.54 lakh members exited and rejoined EPFO in August 2024. So one side, as I discussed, the new members, first time members are 9.08 lakh members, but rest of the count is 13.54 lakh members, out of which few members they have exited or few members they have rejoined the EPFO in August 2024, which shows a great jump. Now, most important part is, in this particular data, there is a question, or there could be a question asked in the examination, that as per the latest trend in the EPFO registrations, what is the gender diversity? So if I talk about the gender diversity within EPFO membership is also very important to remember. Out of the new members, around 2.53 lakh were women. Out of the new members, around 2.53 lakh were women. That means out of 9.08 lakh new members, 2.53 lakhs were women. And if I talk about the net female member addition, so net female member addition, if I include the rejoined individuals who have rejoined EPFO or who have rejoined their provident fund accounts, then the total has been 3.79 lakh. पहले ये चीज क्लियर करना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. What I'm trying to say, let's suppose you start your job today. The moment you start your job in an organized sector, you will be provided with a provident fund, and there will be a provident fund account number. Along with this, you will get a unique account number. So when you are registering for the very first time, you will get not only the provident fund account number, along with this, you will get the unique account number as well. Now, let's suppose after 2 years you change your job and now you are going to a new employer. In that case, the new employer will provide you with a new provident fund, with a new provident fund account, with a new provident fund account number, but this unique account number remains the same. So when I say all new users, all new registers, that means this, who have not only opened their provident fund for the very first time, they have even received the unique account number for the very first time. But on the other side, if I say the total, so the total includes the new members as well as those who have exit from one account and then they have rejoined EPFO in a new account by their new employer. That will be the type of the other set which we have just discussed. I hope this point is clear, how I am making you understand or what I am trying to say about the new joinees as well as the rejoined account holders, or I would say the one who exit and then rejoined the EPFO, that is Employee Provident Fund account. Now, the next point after the gender discussion, after the gender diversity, the next point is regional contribution. As we all know that Maharashtra is the state which records highest GST because of its services, or I would say overall in terms of service sector, the highest services are provided in terms of states, then the answer will be Maharashtra. So Maharashtra is the leading state in terms of net member addition. So this time out of the total net members who have added, 20.95% members, they belong to Maharashtra. After that, we have other states and union territories which include Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Haryana, undoubtedly Haryana for Gurugram, Delhi we have, that means collectively we can say NCR, Gujarat, Telangana, Uttar Pradesh. They have played a really very important role where each of them has contributed 5% in the net new members. Clear guys? Is it clear? So EPFO, new count, no need to remember this value. No one is going to ask you this value, but yes, they can ask you about EPFO. They can ask you about employer provided accounts. They can ask you even about the exit part. They can ask you about unique account number, and they can ask you about the diversity which has been witnessed in case of EPFO. Moving on to the next news of the day. The next news talks about WHO receives $700 million pledges for 2025-28 budget. So what is it all about? We all know that World Health Organization, this organization has played a prominent role during the COVID-19 as well. So there is a news related to WHO where it has said that WHO has received $700 million which has been pledged for 2025-28 budget. Let's try to decode this news. This is going to be pretty interesting. So during the event, there was an event in Berlin where WHO announced that it has received $700 million in new funding pledges for its 2025-28 budget. Now the question is, so this is an addition to $300 million already promised. So there has been already promise of $300 million, which was promised by European Union and African Union. Now there is an addition. This is an addition to the $300 million, which has been already promised by European Union and African Union for 2025-28 budget. Now the question over here is, so why this funding is important? As per the WHO Director General, the name is Tedros Adhanom, explained that these investments, they are very crucial because strong health system support not only the public health but also the overall stability of the society and economy. So according to him, if we have a strong health structure, if we have a strong health arrangements, it will not only help in terms of social upliftment, but it also helps in the economical upliftment of the nation. So that is the reason it is important. So COVID-19 pandemic has showed that health problem can affect much more than the healthcare system. It can affect or it can disrupt the overall economy. For that particular purpose, these kind of funds, these kind of investments are really very important. Now, sir, you said $700 million. Now the question is, who is going to give this $700 million? Can we name This is important. Direct question can be asked in the examination. So Germany has pledged at least 360, let's leave it, about $392 million, which is one of the largest donors among the United States. Along with the United States. So WHO is hoping that more countries will step up and help spread the responsibilities by funding more fairly. So if someone asks you, as per the latest amount, WHO is going to pledge $700 million for 2025-28 in addition to the amount of $300 million which has been already announced by European Union and African Union. This announcement has been done. Now the question is, this $700 million, in this $700 million, who is going to be the major contributor? So the major contributor is going to be Germany, and Germany has pledged at least $392 million, and it has become one of the largest donors along with the United States. Now, if I talk about the changes to the WHO funding model in the past, WHO has relied too much on small number of big donors. So in the past, what was the case? WHO has relied on small number, that means few number of big donors in terms of amount. 2 years ago, the organization agreed to change its funding model to fix this issue, and by 2030-31 budget cycle, WHO aims to have 50% of its budget come from mandatory fees paid by its member countries. Right now, only 16% comes from the obligatory fees and rest comes from the donation. So this is, I would say, a $1 million question which you need to understand and remember. See, WHO is an organization which is trying its level best to improve the health facilities as well as to provide support to the economy in terms of the health requirements. Question ये है कि सर इन organizations के पास पैसा आता कहाँ से? From where funds are arranged by these organizations? Let's say IMF, there is a membership fees. In case of WHO, World Health Organization, again there is a membership fees. That means all the members will be paying a fixed amount which we call it as membership fees, and this membership fees will be utilized by WHO for the health benefits, for the improvement of health all over the globe. Now, earlier, or I would say currently, 16% of the total expenditure done by WHO comes from this membership fees, and rest 84% is arranged through donation. That means WHO is looking for countries, obviously developed countries, rich countries, to donate, and that donation is utilized for development of health facilities in the middle income, or I would say lower middle income countries and even the poor countries. But now WHO has come up with a statement, I would say a drastic step, where they have said by 2030-31 we are going to increase this 16% contribution to 50%, which means we will be looking forward that at least 50% of our expenditure which we are going to make in a financial year should come from the fees, should come from the membership fees, and rest we can arrange through donation. So the 16% is now aimed to be increased at a value of 50% by 2030-31. This is the new proposal which has been announced with the World Health Organization. Now, what is World Health Organization? Sir, it was founded back in 1948 in Geneva, and it has 194 member countries as its members. It is one of the largest international organizations. WHO leads global efforts in health and response to the health crisis. Some of the initiatives which have been taken: first one, very important, Global Vaccine Action Plan 2013. Then creating the framework convention on tobacco control, a key treaty to reduce tobacco use. Then we have WHO has declared COVID-19 pandemic as pandemic on 11th of March 2020, and also focuses on mental health and nutrition. So these are the initiatives which have been taken by WHO in the past. So remember that WHO received $700 million pledges for 2025-28. So now the total pledge is of $1 billion, out of which $300 million were already announced. And this announcement was done by European Union and African Union that we will be pledging this amount. And now recently $700 million will be pledged by different countries, out of which the major contributor is going to be Germany, and Germany has pledged around $392 million. It is among the major contributors along with the United States. Got it, guys? Very important. $700 million, $300 million, $1,000 or million or $1 billion. All these data are important. And then 25 to 28 budget, that is important. And last one is 2030-31. The new era of WHO is going to begin, where WHO will be arranging 50% of its required funds directly from the membership fees itself. Remember that. Moving on to the third news of the day. The next news talks about India and South Korea sets to join FTSE Russell EMGB index in 2025. Now you must be wondering, so what is this news all about? Let's break it down. Let's start our discussion with the first point. India and South Korea, they have announced that they will be joining FTSE Russell EMGB Index 2025. What is it? So this is global index provider. There is a global index provider. The name is FTSE Russell, which has announced that India's sovereign bonds will be included in the emerging market government bond index. So remember one thing, what is this? EMGB stands for emerging market government bond index. Now India's government bond as well as South Korea's government bond will be included in this index, and this index is presented by FTSE Russell. And India's bonds, South Korean bonds, will be included from September 2025. This follows similar inclusion by JP Morgan as well as Bloomberg index. So JP Morgan's index as well as Bloomberg index, they will also include government bonds or Indian government bonds in their index. Now the question is, sir, फायदा क्या? What is the benefit? Benefit बहुत बड़ा है अगर आप ध्यान से समझें. What is the benefit? बड़ा सिंपल सा पॉइंट है. अगर हम गवर्नमेंट की बात करें, what is the source of funds for government? So government is receiving the funds through tax payments, which we call as tax receipts, and the other one is non-tax receipts. Beside this tax and non-tax receipts, government is arranging the funds through borrowings. And that borrowing is done within the country as well as that is done outside the country as well. So in that particular case, if government of India wants to borrow from the foreign investors, that can be possible only if the foreign investors, they are aware of the Indian government bonds first. Secondly, they have a trust on Indian government bonds. And the third point is they have some data supporting their decision that whether they should invest or not. This index is going to serve the purpose of the data, where if in the index Indian government bonds, they are performing good, that means they are the bonds which should be looked upon by the investors, and if they are doing well, undoubtedly investment will be increased in these bonds. This will have a dual benefit. First benefit is government will arrange the funds, government will use those funds for their n number of requirements. But the best part is, if we are arranging the funds, if we are raising the funds from the nations outside India, that means we are receiving foreign currency, which will undoubtedly increase the forex reserves of the nation. It will decrease the demand, or it will decrease the gap between demand and supply of foreign currency within the nation, which will help in decreasing the depreciation, or it will help in I would say introducing a bar on the depreciation of Indian currency with respect to the foreign currency. So these are the benefits of these bond index. Moving on to the next point. So South Korean government bonds, they are set to be added, but they will be added in November 2025 after spending 2 years on the watch list. And now Indian bonds will be added in the beginning of September 2025 itself. in the beginning of September 2025 itself. Indian securities, they will account for 9.35% of the index on market value weighted basis. So on the market value weighted basis, Indian securities, they are account for 9.35%, which is a good weightage. If I talk about the progress, FTSE Russell had previously deferred inclusion of Indian bonds due to taxation, registration and settlement issues. But over the period of time, government has resolved all these issues, and because of the resolving or because of the acknowledgement, there is an improvement in accessibility of Indian securities, paving the way for inclusion, because of which now the index has included the Indian bonds as well. South Korean government will be included. They will be including the FTSE World Government Bond Index, and they will be beginning in 2025 November, but India will be included in September 2025. Weightage of South Korea or South Korean bonds is 2.2%. On the other side, Indian bonds weightage is around 9%, to be very specific, 9.35%. Remember that the inclusion of Indian bonds in FTSE Russell follows the announcement which has been done by JP Morgan as well as Bloomberg Index. So Indian bonds will join JP Morgan's Government Bond Index Emerging Markets in June 2024. Secondly, Indian bonds, they have included in the Bloomberg Index Service Emerging Market Local Currency Index in January 2025, and Indian bonds will be included with FTSE Russell Emerging Market Government Bonds Index in September 2025. So these are the three important announcements which have been done recently. Moving on to the last point, what is going to be the impact on local market? So the inclusion of these bonds, it will enhance the visibility. As I said, everyone will now know about Indian bonds. Then it will attract the public towards the Indian bond market, and not only Indian bond market, it will attract the global investors not only for bond market but for the other markets as well, which will increase the potential inflow of currency, but that to foreign currency in the economy, which leads to economic growth over the period of time. Is it clear, everyone? This point is clear. What is the benefit of inclusion of Indian government bonds in different types of index? So undoubtedly it is going to improve the visibility of Indian government bonds in the market, and this visibility will increase the inflow of foreign currency in country with the help of these sovereign bonds. Moving on to the next news. So the next news talks about HDFC. HDFC opens first Singapore branch to expand global presence. So it's just a simple news, one-liner, which will be asked in your phase 1 exam. The question will be, which bank has recently opened up its first branch in Singapore? What will be your answer? The answer is HDFC. That is it. So HDFC has officially announced its first branch in Singapore as a part of its strategy to expand its international operations. So a wholesale banking license was granted by Monetary Authority of Singapore. The way RBI is there, and if a foreign bank aims to operate in India, in that particular case, they need to seek permission from RBI. They need to register themselves with RBI. After the approval and license given by RBI, then only a foreign bank can operate in India. In a similar manner, in case of Singapore, HDFC will be a foreign bank for Singapore, and if a foreign bank wants to operate in Singapore, they need to seek the license, and they have received wholesale banking license. Now the question is, what is wholesale banking? We have different types of bankings. One, we have retail banking, we have wholesale banking, then we have universal banking. I'm taking 3 examples. Retail banking basically means when bank is involved in short value and volume deposits as well as loans. That is retail banking. There are conditions depending upon nation to nation, conditions differ. Wholesale banking means when a bank is involved in huge deposits and lending facilities. Universal means which is involved from retail to wholesale. All type of customers are entertained by the bank. So here HDFC has opened up a branch as a wholesale bank branch or wholesale banking services will be provided from 15th of October 2024. Just remember this. This is more than sufficient. Nothing else is important. So HDFC has received wholesale banking license, enabling it to offer wide range of financial services to Singapore residents, including corporate banking, investment banking, and wealth management services will be provided by HDFC. Done, guys. Moving on to the last news of the day. But before that, I have some important things which I need to discuss with you. Sir, HDFC international presence. With the addition of Singapore, HDFC now operates 5 international branches. We have Hong Kong, Bahrain, Dubai, Singapore, and we have IFSC banking unit in Gift City, that is in Gujarat itself. So bank also maintains its representative offices in Kenya, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, and London. So remember that this is the I would say, with addition to Singapore, now 5 international branches of HDFC are running. One is Hong Kong, Bahrain, Dubai, Singapore. Last one is in India only, but that is in IFSC banking unit, Gift City, which is a part of India in terms of boundaries, but in terms of rules and regulations, in terms of presence, in terms of services, it is a part of International Financial Service Center. As of 31st March 2024, HDFC Bank's international business has a balance sheet of $9.06 billion, highlighting the significance of its overseas operation in the overall business growth, because of which this initiative has been taken. Moving on to the last news of the day. Last news talks about one of the private sector bank. We all know that LPG, liberalization, privatization, and globalization, was introduced back in liberalization, privatization, globalization was introduced back in 1991, and in 1991 Narasimhan Committee was set up. Then Narasimhan Committee Part 2 was set up in 1998, and this committee recommended setting up of private banks in the country. Later on, many private banks were set up, and after the period of time, banks, they were flourishing in India. Over the period of time, there was a need of financial inclusion. Then RBI again came up with a statement that yes, we invite the private companies if they want to open up banks. So in 2013, 26 companies, they have given the application that yes, they want to become a bank, they want to seek a banking license, and a committee was set up by RBI under the chairmanship of Bimal Jalan. So Bimal Jalan committee checked out all the 26 applications, and out of 26 applications, only two were selected, and they have given the banking license. One was Bandhan Bank, which started its operation, if I'm not wrong, in August 2015, and the second one is IDFC Bank, which later on merged with First Capital, and it has become IDFC First Bank. So these two were the latest, or I would say these two are the latest private sector banks which have been set up in the country with the universal banking license. Now, Bandhan Bank's new CEO has been appointed, and the name is Reserve Bank of India has appointed Pratha Pratim Sen Gupta, PP Sen Gupta, as the managing director and CEO of a private bank, Bandhan Bank, for 3 years. Sen Gupta appointment comes after the resignation of Chandra Shekhar Ghosh, the founder, very important, the founder, managing director and CEO of the bank, who is holding this bank since it has received the bank license, and he has been serving as CEO since the bank license was approved and since the bank started its operation. But now he has announced his resignation, and after his resignation, a new name has been proposed and the approval has been given by RBI, that is PP Sen Gupta. Remember that RBI, being the regulator, is responsible to provide the approvals. For example, a new bank, a private bank is supposed to appoint a new CEO. They will be giving a suggestion, advice to RBI, and once RBI finalize or accept the advice and gives the approval, then after the RBI's approval only the new appointment is done. And now RBI has approved PP Sen Gupta is going to serve as the CEO of Bandhan Bank. Before this, he has worked with SBI, Even he has worked as managing director and CEO of government-owned bank, that is Indian Overseas Bank, and now he will be running, or he will be representing as managing director and CEO of Bandhan Bank. If you want to prepare really very well for your upcoming RBI Grade B 2025 exam, do subscribe to our platform, where we will be providing you with n number of benefits, which include live classes, structured live classes. We have well planned, up to date and concise study material. We have phase 1, phase 2 specific study material, quizzes, simple, I would say, section test as well as mock test. Mock test for phase 2, they will give you the same experience as you are going to have while writing or while typing your final RBI Grade B examination. So don't waste even a single day. Do register yourself, subscribe for next 12 months. Use the code MADHAV in order to enjoy maximum discount on your upcoming courses. Thank you so much for joining. I will be sharing the PDF of this session on my Telegram channel. Scan the code, join the Telegram channel, and I will be uploading the PDF pretty soon. Thank you so much. Good luck. God bless you all.